to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo?
No, not at all.
It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious, I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gas lights twinkling, it was bright to the day, even in the middle of night.
What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Brewery, I wasn't gonna waste an single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling from side to side, the mattress to the other.
Oh yes, it really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except, when I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms, the dream quickly turned into a nightmare.
Sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance so inviting, I just wandered in without thinking.
In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill.
I really am sorry.
Never mind, we must find some more affordable lodging straight away though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less.
London is a scary place. Good morning to you at this early hour. Oh, hello?
Oh, yes! Well! Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday.
Sato-san is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid even in the presence of the imposing Lord Strongheart. Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices.
Yes, it was very eye-opening, thank you! And in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end.
Yes.
I've already been apprised of events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed.
Oh! No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land.
Thank you very much.
So, I'm a lawyer now. Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it at once. I trust that won't be a problem. Another case already? Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure. I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I? It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it. What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for? The culpability of the defendant has not at the present time been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment. Well, Lord Von Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGilded really was innocent. Mr. Naruhodo? It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended. Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer. Sorry? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? Magnus McGilded passed away immediately following the trial. Oh! What? Mr. McGilded, he's dead? Scared the birds, mate. It's rather freaky news. I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Enough time to talk. Speak! Converse! I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead? After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you'll presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom. Yes, of course. That was the scene of the crime in which Mr. McGilded had been accused of. Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames. How could such a thing have happened? That is being investigated as we speak, but already. The police have identified a corpse found inside the charged shell of the carriage as that of McGilded. That's awful. The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. Bailiff really needs to pay more attention and is totally not suspicious. And how could that have happened? That is also being investigated as we speak. Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus. Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. So, what inspection? You're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. An inspection of the omnibus? Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage. Then who was Mr. McGilded talking about? Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police. Poor Mr. McGilded. So, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court? Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was... Wow! My gosh! Mr. Naruhodo means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. Sato-san has such a way with words. You seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones. Can you stop doing that, please, ma'am? Oh, just have no privacy. The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can. The most advanced in the world, is it? Oh yeah? It was fortunate. Your very first trial was a simple affair, was it? Simple! That was simple! As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose. So confident, huh? I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple. Still don't know what to make of it now. The circumstances of the case were so incriminating. I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favourable verdict. Good heavens! What's with the evil laugh now? What's going on here? Is something funny? Oh, no, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. It really was as simple as that, huh? And it can only have been attributed to exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree? Well, I don't know about that. It did seem a bit convenient, but I'll take the compliment, personally. Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That, at least, is an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I have prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before. What's going on? What was he going to say before? Ah, yes. Shall we dive in? Okay. Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned? Yeah, better equip us this time, like we were just thrust into the last one. Don't tell me. It's a murder, and the trial starts in 10 minutes. Again! Sure like doing that, don't you? Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different. Oh, it is. I see. Did he just read my mind? That is to say, no one has died as yet. The trial will not be today. There is plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds, to be precise. So the trial's tomorrow then. Is everything alright? Yes, just a little confused, that is all. Yesterday's trial was... well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I don't know if I could face standing in that courtroom again after McGilden's trial. Ah yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense. Oh. If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome. Yeah, well, yesterday's client died anyway. This is very reassuring. The most terrible end awaits the defendant. Yes, that's right. Ugh, here we go again. What, we're here? Kazuma wouldn't give up now, would he? Your time is up? You'll have to excuse me. I would advise you in making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. As you're constantly checking, of course. There's now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits. Last time he mentioned the 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time. Every minute counts! And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. There is something I should like to ask you. Oh? What is it, sir? Yesterday, you remarked upon something. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Sogi. You're gonna tell me about it? Because we don't know. Except for this lawyer gig, but you seem to have something else on the side. I would be very interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds, of course. Kazuma always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn about the greatest justice system in the world. He wanted to see how it worked so he could change house in Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing, Another thing? Do continue. On the way here, on the steamship, he said something, but he got himself off. There's something very important that I have to do. Something very important? And what exactly would that be? He never had a chance to tell me. You don't put me on a timer, man! You're out of time. Oh, thank you for enlightening discussion. Mr. Naruhodo, what's this about? How should I know? You just put me on the timer. Mr. Sogi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me. Well, he didn't tell me either! What is this? I urge you to both focus your attentions on the matter at hand. Well then why did you what? Oh, hey dude. I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. He'll be able to apprise you of the details. How long has he been there? So, I wish you the best of luck, and bid you farewell.
something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean?
I wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me. Well, anyway, we had better talk to the detective, don't you think?
Yes, you're right.
Never mind that now. Can't tell us. I just hope I'm imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. Alright, hello. Can you tell us what we need to know? If you're willing to. Could we trouble you for a bit? What do you think? Is that a no? Lovely weather, isn't it? What's the weather got to do with anything? Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gen eaten out of your hand, you know. I've got my chips to worry about.
Sato-san told me it was foolproof.
I'm a busy man. A very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here having to give the likes of you a talking to. I'm ever so sorry. Just a couple seconds wouldn't kill you. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying, Haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And all because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of. Hear that ripping sound hurt my reputation at the yard going to tatters. There's no need to rip us apart as well.
I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant,
What's this now?
It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it?
Wait, you didn't finish introducing yourself? What's this now? It's unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine. What? What is any of it? So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard.
Gregson? Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Sato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her?
Wait, I want to know now.
Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson?
You're acting like you know this man, Mr. Sato. He's a London detective.
Oh, I do know him very well, in fact.
Very well?
Yes, he features prominently in the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes.
Oh, in that publication.
What's it called again? Rance Magazine? That's right! Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry.
Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible! Well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course. He does come up with the goods from time to time.
Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? He thanks his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all the Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words.
That's his highest praise.
Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see.
Me and Bailey gave me one back on the ship. That is not. Thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now. That's great, isn't it? I have to admit that to start with, when I was a little flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the Yard went through the roof. Well, that's wonderful, isn't it? No, it's not! There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street! People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumours about me under their breath, I'm sure!
Rumours? Are you quite sure?
It's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that.
Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying. But I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs are eggs.
I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work. Oh dear, perhaps a sudden rise to fame does change people.
Anyway, back to the case, shall we? Since you don't seem to want to be here for long. About the case that Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. Nothing to tell, really. Well, then, why are we entertaining this? We got some backstory on you, I guess. As far as we're concerned at the Yard, it couldn't be simpler. Never is.
Oh dear, that probably means... As far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated.
I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right. A young woman was walking along the pavement of Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal. She's still laid up in the hospital unconscious. Ooh.
It's despicable. What sort of coward will attack the poor woman from behind?
Suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with a successful takedown, would you?
That's neither here nor there, Mr. Nuttlehoodle.
Brace yourself, Inosuke, you've angered her now! Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. Barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest.
So, there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit. Perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question.
Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one.
Sorry?
It's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now.
Why ever not?
Simple. The prosecutor that's assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Baroque von Zeeks. Ah! Oh, come on. Sounds like you've heard of him then.
Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord von Zeeks. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself.
The Reaper Bailey. Oh, we're gonna talk about him, are we? Lord Baroque von Zeeks, we faced in court only yesterday.
Mr. McGilder told us about him before the trial, didn't he? When von Zeeks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs.
I don't know who's speaking, so says. Never mind! Whoa! And in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname. Suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, is that it? But he retired for 5 years, what's that all about? Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Von Zieks, Mr. Nuttlehoodle secured a verdict of not guilty. Yeah, well, he's dead now, isn't he? And what of it? Oh, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant. Debatable. You really don't have a clue, do you? I'm guessing not. What do you mean? What happened to that bloke in the end, huh? He's dead. Magnus McGilded came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you? What are you saying? Look, if Von Zieks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you. Are we really supposed to believe that? Right, well, I filled you in as requested. I'm very nearly out of chips. So we're heading back to the crime scene now. Still carrying out a few investigations there. It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place. That's correct, ma'am. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. Branded him a criminal already, huh? It's as good as. Shaking like a leaf in his cell he is. I'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way. Inmate 53. Thank you. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of Bailey, they say. Is something troubling you, Mr. Nuttlehoodle? Well, everything, but I'm sure that's not going to help you, is it? To tell the truth, when I recalled the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage too. But if the man they've arrested is innocent, you could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try. So I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help? Did you really think you had to ask? After all, I am your judicial assistant. Thank you. So then, shall we?
Yes, let's go.